Welcome, everybody, to the laboratory. I am your host, the Mav Hatter, and today we are playtesting the Modular Unlimited system. We're going to run you through the case of the Fatal Machine. This module, the story module, uses the investigation module and the criminal investigation module, as well as the namesake case of the Fatal Machine module. Today we're doing a playtest. You can see how the Modular Unlimited investigation system works. My team of players, they are running some investigators. Naturally, we're going to find out where they are currently. So imagine we have our camera and we're panning into frame. Who is all in this location? First off, in this shared business location.
Looks like Danny Lake isn't here at the moment. Ileana is at her desk in her office doing office things.
Doing some office things. What about codename Black Swan? Is he currently in the office?
He is not, but he is just a phone call away.
And that leaves our third investigator for the day, Carter Echo Carter.
No,
Where do we find?
No. It's Carter,
known
as Echo.
Because his name is double. So where do we find Echo?
Echo would be, Echo's in the office today. Didn't have anything else going on. Yeah, he's probably hanging out in whatever the comfiest chair in the room is. He doesn't like sitting behind a desk.
Is it like a couch? Or is it an office chair that's got some good padding?
It'd be an office chair that has some good padding. Not one of the ones that's on like that single stick, though, so it's not like the reclining kind.
Right.
Like the one that you sink into. And he's reading the journal that he keeps in his jacket.
And interestingly, your character, I know I'm kind of dwelling on your character, but your character is more of a paranormal investigator, more along the lines of they're trying to prove that paranormal things either don't or do exist.
Oh yeah, he escaped an occult cult that his family was running. He took their notebook with him, and so he uses the skills that he gets from there to work with this particular company to solve all sorts of issues.
Excellent. And
is Echo the reason that Danny Lake took an online course?
No. So Danny Lake took his online course, right? That's how Echo found him.
Are you hiring? Yes, I am. And speaking of this particular company, what is the name of this particular investigation company that you three are a part of?
Ooh.
I think it's That Stumped All of Us, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you guys sticking with that? That stumped all of us?
It's not Echo's place to name things.
Black Swan, any input in if we're changing the name or not?
Black Swan?
STAO?
STAO.
No. STAOA.
AOA. Ow.
It'd be
Sal. Like General Sal's.
Yeah, actually. Oh no.
It's an extra letter.
Who named this crew?
You have crewmen to thank. It's not all right.
Yeah, let's keep it.
So, for old time's sake, we're keeping it. So, the door opens while Ileana's behind the desk, and in walks, as soon as I find my page, a pale woman with red curly hair in her early 40s. She is dressed in a violet blazer. She is dressed in a violet blazer and a matching skirt with a robin's egg blue blouse. Despite the clear sadness in her jade-colored eyes, she holds a professional posture.
Redhead. They're always trouble.
They're always trouble. Speaking from the redhead. Now, I want to give you a preamble before we dive into this. There's three things that you're looking for to solve a criminal investigation. They are means, is your suspect capable of committing this crime? Opportunity, did your suspect have the opportunity to commit this crime? And motive, is your suspect inclined to have committed the crime? With three kind of offshoot details that you're looking for. The first one isn't applicable to this case, but in other criminal investigations it might be, which is the description. Does your suspect match a given description? The second one is character. While this isn't necessarily the strongest piece of evidence, it does speak towards motivation rather than outright defining it. And then the last thing is alibi. If your character has an alibi, they are proving they didn't have the opportunity. Always with an alibi, you want to verify. So wanted to give you guys that spiel. And Lisa Fernandez is now a good quality, credible source for you to interact with. The skills you'll be using for this investigation node / credible source are social skills.
Oh, okay.
So as she enters, here is Ileana. Oops, closed my own game. Here is Ileana and Echo.
Are we
Just
treating
walk
Echo
into
like an
businesses.
intern? Just
walk
real
into
quick.
businesses without knocking. Does she have an appointment?
No, I'm afraid I didn't schedule an appointment. This was a matter I'd not necessarily like to get to the press.
I still want to know if we're treating Echo like an intern.
Is Echo an intern?
At this point, yeah. Technically.
Intern, go fetch some coffee. What can I do for you, ma'am?
My husband was murdered at our company, Revo Machines. The police. Congratulations. Great. I can't give you any more until you roll for it, actually, or ask questions.
Eliana is typing on her computer. You was murdered, you say? Did you, where was he murdered? In this building? Was he murdered outside? The time of day? I'm gonna need more information than that.
Okay. First thing I'm gonna give you, since you're asking, go ahead.
Off the table, is this someone who would be like well known? Something that would be like newsworthy? Like, is this something we may have already heard about?
Specifically doesn't want it to get to the news, so probably haven't heard about it yet from the news.
Oops, wrong one. You can roll if you want to. Logic plus, we'll say just a logic skill test, and we'll see if you're familiar with Revo Machines. All right. So since you asked a specific question about where he was murdered, this woman, Lisa Fernandez, informs you, yes, he was murdered in his robotics lab. He was working late last night, and with 19 and 16, you guys are both rolling your logic, right? Correct?
Is Juan even here? I he wasn't in the. I thought he wasn't here.
He's got you wiretapped.
How'd you know?
Oh yeah, true.
Psychic.
He has constant access to all the surveillance in the company, in the building.
As that's happening, Echo comes back with the coffee he got for himself.
Fair.
And just out of curiosity, can I get an aura read on this lady?
Yeah.
All right.
You want to do that? Are you probing for information while you're doing the aura read, or are you just looking for a general aura read?
I want to see if this lady is like I'm looking for I want to say emotional state. Like she came in, you said she was looking sad. Great. But is she scared sad? Is she angry sad? Is she showing no additional emotion than sad?
Yeah, you can roll for it.
Yes.
Let's say challenge test 13. Typical challenge test, not very difficult.
Okay, so that's a D20 plus my
2D10.
Oh, right. Sorry, 2D10. I missed that. So I have the aura read skill, right?
Yes, correct.
So do I use my humility or do I use that rank 3?
Both. Add those together.
I knew that. 22.
Oh yeah. You can tell. Go ahead.
That's an impressive roll.
Yeah, you have a solid sense of her emotional state. Yes, she is deeply sad. She very clearly loved her husband, her now late husband. She is not afraid of a murderer, or at least she's not fearing for her life. You can tell her fear is a lot less life or death, a lot more professional.
Oh, she's afraid of something about the business. He knew something.
Yeah, that's something you pick up on.
Got it.
And yeah, so you get just to inform you guys for later, you get 25 experience. You're going to get 25 experience for this aura read. We're also going to see 25 experience for the information on Revo Machines, that challenge test you guys did, which informs you've heard about this company before. One, they are a smaller tech company in terms of the size of the employ. They're not small in their financial power, right? Like they're working with some serious cash, they're working with some serious financials, but it's only a team of 15, 20, 30 people inventing the technologies, and then they outsource the actual construction.
Yeah.
But where is Echo in the room, by the way?
I just came in the door after getting my coffee.
All right.
So she does, to answer more of Anna's question, I can take you to the robotics lab if you'd like to take a look at the crime scene.
First, I think we need to discuss payment. Of course, we need to, we don't work free. You know that.
Of course.
You know that.
What's your going rate?
So at this moment,
The
you hear
character?
the focusing of a camera, the slight gears, something kind of crinkling a little bit, and then one of the cameras in the room falls to the ground.
Okay.
Lisa's just like looking at it.
Liliana's like just staring at it tiredly. Out of character, can someone tell me what we're at would actually be asking of this.
Well, if we're good private investigators, then probably about $100 an hour.
Per person?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would charge, if you're going one private investigator, probably that $100 an hour. But since it's probably going to end up as three, we're probably looking at 300, 350.
Oh, yeah, lawyer rates. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
Right.
Plus hazard. Could get killed by a machine.
All right, it'll
350, 400?
Yeah, go with 400. See if she bites.
Eliana's just going to turn away from the now broken camera and say, 400 an hour for our services. We don't want to. Please ignore everything I just said other than the money.
Okay. She's, yes, that sounds like a reasonable price, especially considering your discretion.
Yes, indeed. And she's going to pull out a contract and do the whole contract signy bit.
Yep, perfect. Lisa signs her name.
Non-disclosure agreements.
Non-disclosure agreements. Like there's paperwork back and forth.
Yeah.
Is anybody going to? Hey, why are screens black?
I've been wondering that for the past 15 minutes.
Hey, Pat, check your Discord real quick.
dude, all here.
They're not showing. Check your OBS. They're not showing. Oh, there they go.
My upload speeds are 1 bar right now.
Storm's getting you. That's okay.
But as she's been signing up, Black Swan walks through, picks up the camera, throws it away.
Oh, what did I miss?
Crappy.
Are you not going to destroy the camera first? Or are you going to wait till she leaves to do that?
As Black Swan's throwing it away, it's already been destroyed. I tried, but I heard everything, and nothing.
Yeah, she's just going to wave him over like.
Will be spoken about outside of us. I assure you.
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent. Oh, and to remind folks of how these mechanics work, as long as the investigation node or the credible source is in front of you, you can continue to investigate.
Mm-hmm. By the way, while we're doing the paperwork, I stole the coffee from Echo and started drinking from it myself.
All right.
What's it taste like?
Cream, sugar, cinnamon. It's delicious.
Fantastic. Is that from the mess? Like, do you guys have like a mess station, or did you buy that coffee and bring it in?
Oh, that's a good question. Black Swan, is there a coffee station here in the facility, or did I have to go to a coffee shop? Did she just steal my latte?
She stole your latte.
She came in with it.
She ordered you to give her a coffee. So you got a coffee. So, which is obviously for her because she told you to get her a coffee.
I would have said it was anchovy.
Anchovies? Fantastic.
Yeah. But the real question becomes, like, okay, so the lady came in, Miss Fernandez, and she says her husband died at work.
Right.
And then she hired 3 private investigators to take a look at it instead of immediately calling the cops. And not even private investigators that she had on retainer. She went out and found us on the street. She walked into our building.
It's because you haven't asked about police.
And we have a building.
She immediately said that she did not want this in the papers, which, to me, Echo says she did not call the cops yet.
She could have told the police the same thing.
Yeah, but they're the police.
It'll make more sense as soon as you get more answers.
Fine, I will ask this lady the question.
What's the question?
Why are you coming to us, the private investigators, instead of going to the cops?
That's because the initial police report has declared the death an accident. They called it a software malfunction.
Okay.
I don't think I don't think that software commits murder.
Well, a glitch in the system. Some robotic arm goes haywire and just kind of.
Yeah, but that would be hardware, wouldn't it?
No. The hardware is the physical being of the machine. The software is what controls it. It's like being possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
You got a physical body, but the demon's controlling you.
And
the demon is the software.
Yeah. You'll get to see the hardware software. Not you personally, your characters will.
So you come to us because you don't believe it was an accident?
Let's just say I'm trying to do my due diligence in this matter, and I don't think the police worked as hard on the case as I would have liked.
Body language.
Ooh, good call.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll for it.
Where's my body language? There it is. Okay. 20.
20. So you get the impression that she believes the cause of death is connected to something that changed recently with the company, like her fear that Echo also saw. You're seeing it on a more physical level, where she's responding to this as though there is more going on.
Okay, yeah, let's
I'm sorry.
pick it up. We head out.
Lisa Fernandez.
Lisa. Now, in all discreetness, Lisa, is there anything that you want to tell us that you may not have told the police due to the discretion and the nature of what's happened?
It's not something that the police wouldn't already know, but I do have to wonder if it has to do with the recent decision for the company to go public.
Oh, jeez.
Out of character, what the fuck does that mean?
Difference between a private company and a public company is who can invest. In a public company, anybody can invest stocks into the company. In a private company, only specific people can invest.
But if the company went public and the guy in charge of it just died, right? That means the stock's gonna...
It hasn't gone public yet. The decision was made. The announcement was made. The company is not public currently.
So you think somebody might have taken him out to prevent such a thing from happening, huh?
She seems not necessarily convinced that's the case, but from her position, that is a likely case.
Got it. All right. Well, you said that the police have already gone over the investigation there. Is what's left at the crime scene for us currently?
I can't do your job for you. I'm not an investigator.
Okay.
I would like, while they're having this conversation, just background, I want to do tarot reading.
Tarot
You
reading?
want to continue?
Have they already removed the body?
Yes, the body is removed.
No talking to this dead.
Was there any known enemies? Did he have a fight with an employee recently, or anything that may have happened within the family?
I will give you this. It's not actually something Lisa's supposed to be able to tell you, but just because of how specific that question is, I'm going to give you this information as soon as I find it. It was Theodore Teddy, we call him Theodore Lackameyer. He had gotten into a big fight with Guillermo because they made the company public, despite the fact that Teddy wanted to keep the financials in-house. And Teddy is he's our vice president.
Have the police talked to him at all that you would know of?
Yes, they've taken a statement, I believe.
All right. Ileana, are you able to pull up the police report?
Yeah, she'll do that. She rolled a 17 on tarot reading, by the way. Cards are on the table. As she works to pull this up. As she works to pull up the police report. Yep.
So your tarot reading, I don't know the specific card, so I'm going to make this up. You get a card of sight or of vision. Like somebody may have witnessed a crime, or not a crime per se, but might have witnessed the situation.
Are there cameras around there? She's gonna ask while pulling up. And who was working, who wasn't on that day and at that time, preferably.
Guillermo was working alone, as he often does, in the robotics lab, and unfortunately, we keep the robotics lab without any cameras, specifically to avoid company secrets from escaping.
Smart. The lab itself inside has no cameras, but surely you have like a security cam watching the front and back door or something, yeah?
Yes.
I want access to that. I
I'll
want to
give
know
you guys,
everyone who is...
your characters will get access to that. I will tell you that that's not going to tell you anything. Your characters will go through that process.
I want to know everyone who has gone in and out of that building that day. I think... Do I need to roll anything to pull up the police report? Or can I just do that?
Yeah, you can pull up. I guess
just need a
an information technology
summary of what it is.
I have an information lookup.
That works.
23.
23. The police report. There's some damn good rolls. The police report gives you somebody that is marked as a witness. They did not witness the crime, however, they were the first one to see the body in the morning. Milo McCormick. And that is now a witness that you have access to.
Got it. All right. That's probably all we can get from questioning her right now. We should go check out the crime scene.
I'm printing off the...
There is technically more you can get from her.
I think we should investigate, then talk to her some more. I was headed in that direction.
It's a good idea.
Well,
there's not much I can...
I'm printing out the police report. I'm handing Echo burner phone.
Free burner phone. Ooh, I want to give you guys a little bit of some information that you would have as the players in this particular case. This case has a bonus experience point value if you discover a secondary crime. Just to let you guys know, there's a second crime that you can discover. Okay, so you guys are heading to robotics laboratory.
Yep.
How you getting?
How far away is it?
What's our car called?
It's probably a 45-minute drive, and the last you had called it the AMC Gremlin was the model of the car. And a Beautiful Survivor is what you had called it previously in our previous sessions.
We are going to be taking a Beautiful Survivor, of course.
We have a gremlin?
Yep.
Okay.
Our new hire.
Echo is dubious about getting into this car.
Who's driving, me or Black Swan?
I'll go ahead and drive us there.
All right.
All right. So Black Swan hits the road, punches in GPS, or you have like physical maps?
I briefly looked at a physical map that we had on the wall. I try to avoid using GPS, along with the technical status of enjoyment I have with microphones and cameras and burner cell phones. I'm also paranoid of them. So there is no GPS.
All right.
That's
It's why all our equipment is burner phones, and why our security cameras are shit that break.
I'm gonna fix it.
Makes
okay?
sense. Gosh. Yeah, so you drive the 45 minutes to a pretty isolated but semi-futuristic looking building. You pull up. Lisa takes you. Yeah, she directs you into the. Like you're following her. I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so her car, your car,
She was
you're
gonna
following.
be going off in her own little thing, and we were gonna be stuck doing it all ourselves. But if she's taking us there, then I didn't even have to look at a map. I did because I'm paranoid like that. But
Bingo. Yeah, so her car is in front of you. She has a personal driver. You follow along in the beautiful Survivor. It takes you a little bit outside of town. Green, the area itself is green. Inside this green opening, there is a futuristic looking full glass building. It's, we'll say it's like 3 stories tall. She gets you past the security guard. She has them flag you by. You guys even get to be in the employee parking lot.
These cars are nicer than ours.
are there any,
Bastards.
while we're going into the employee parking and all of that, are we able to see if there's cameras around?
Yeah, there's cameras on the outside.
All right, we go inside.
So she takes you inside, her key card gets you into the robotics lab, which the robotics lab is an astonishingly bright and spotlessly clean area. Central table has the largest robotic arm with a black desktop attached with a thick cable. Several other tables have smaller robotic arms or neatly stowed parts and tools.
Miss Fernandez.
Yes,
I assume this is one of the projects he was working on.
this is correct, yes.
Is this what killed him?
Yes, I believe so. All evidence suggests this, yes.
So this is a large robotic arm. Question, is this one of the robotic arms that has like 2 clamps on it, or does it have like a hand at the end of it, or does it have like a 4-prong piece, like
It's a clamp,
just a single double clamp?
a single double clamp.
Classic Doc Ock.
But it's classic. It looks like it can crush some serious weight.
And you said it was spotless? Like the whole thing's already been cleaned up?
Time to investigate. Echo would like to step inside and use his scene survey ability.
All right, go ahead and roll your scene survey. The investigation threshold for this is 15.
17.
So yeah, as you're surveying the scene, you follow the arm, you follow that cable, and you find the robotics computer interface. You find yourself face to face with that machine. Seems like it responds as you step in front of it, and that gives you the robotics interface investigation node.
Like,
I would like to inspect the arm.
Inspecting the arm.
As would I, but
I was gonna make a joke and say I wanted to do palmistry, but it's not a hand; it's a clamp. Sad. Visual analysis.
Okay, go ahead and roll for it.
14.
Including the 2 that, because this is cumulative. So the 2 that Echo went over plus your 14 gets you to that next detail. You get a closer look at the arm and notice that the protective solenoids, the things that stop it from squeezing too hard, have been fried due to an overcurrent. This gives you some means.
can I get field sampling and dusting? And Lisa's still there, right? Would I be able? Okay.
At least it's still there.
Who did the cleanup on this?
It was the police forensics team. I don't know exactly who,
All right.
but yeah, you can roll. Their fingerprints aren't going to help you though.
Well, this is about the thing being fried. I'm going to be like, well, this does seem like a hardware situation to me, given the fact that this isn't software. This looks like hardware things.
you said that this terminal reacted when I stepped in front of it.
Mhm.
Is it like motion capture, or is it just responding to the fact that there's someone standing in front of it?
It's just responding to the fact that there's someone in front of it. So Black Swan, you rolled a 17 with your dusting, and as you're dusting, you find a newspaper headline that reads Nuevo Communications, which is a competitor to Revo, Revo Machinery. I think I pronounced that wrong before. Nuevo Communications is a direct competitor. They announced their new robotics division.
Was that any chance by
can't.
under the base of the desk that's holding the arm?
Under the base?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what are you shooting for there?
So-
Because I don't want to give you bad information.
Okay. The logic gate here is that the forensic team did the cleanup, but I want to know if they moved the arm and all of the gear holding it in place and cleaned that up too.
They just cleaned up the body and the actual blood off the arm.
Okay.
Ow.
Right. Who wants to do what next?
I would like to not get stabbed in the head. That'd be nice.
I would like to find this witness, Milo McCormick.
Milo McCormick?
I'd
All
like
right.
to dust the keyboard.
Okay. I'll get Milo McCormick first, and then we'll do the keyboard. Milo McCormick is a fresh-faced 19-year-old college student with disheveled dyed blue hair and thick glasses. His clothes are clearly ill-fitted and worn. He seemed shaken when approached.
I would like to get an aura read on him before I say anything.
Sure.
He seems visibly upset on the outside, but
Right.
is he really?
Is he really? Let's find out. Go ahead and roll against 13.
19.
He is, in fact, definitely scared. You see, like a yellow. Yellow is probably the color of fear.
Mm.
That's the color aura you get from him.
I see. Hello, Mr. McCormick.
Hi. What can I do for you?
It's more like what I hope I can do for you, so... I've been told that you were the first on the scene when this unfortunate incident occurred.
Yes.
Can you please tell me about it in your own words?
I come in. There was Guillermo's body was directly under the robotic claw, and kind of what I came to and called the cops.
Interesting. So, you say his body was directly under the robotic claw.
Yes.
Was it in front of the interface?
I guess not all the way in front of it. We run the code, and it's probably inspecting the claw.
A machine this powerful, and there's no minimum safety distance?
You gotta understand, these programmers, they aren't following all the rules all the time. Especially Big Boss Man. He might look the other way when OSHA's concerned.
Mm.
All right. Good.
I'm sorry. You can jump over to the printing thing in a sec. After I have a skill called mentalism that says exert mental energy to incite shared information. I don't actually know what that means.
Have you seen the movie Now You See Me?
No.
Okay. So Woody Harrelson's character, and this is like basically any kind of hypnosis thing, but he'll trick your mind, trick somebody else's mind into saying or doing something. When they do hypnosis, like you're getting sleepy.
Got it.
Kind of thing.
Got it. Okay.
All right. So jumping over to the prince, or do you have something else real quick?
I was going to use the mentalism on him and go, guilty man says what?
Guilty man says what? He manages to not fall for it. Busted. Court of law. He says what? All right. So Black Swan, you're dusting for prints. You're 11. First off, you find a lot of prints. It's not a helpful amount of information because every single programmer uses this keyboard.
Okay. So my thought logic here on this one is that with how pristine they keep the place clean, you would think that they'd be cleaning the keyboard too, so that I can get a gauge of how many people were there in intervals of cleaning time.
Part of the problem is you're looking at the number of people that have used it since it was cleaned last. So everybody that's worked this morning. But also, Guillermo would have been using the computer
Last.
Or maybe if he was the one working late, supposedly alone.
Yeah, exactly. So if he was there alone through the night, then we're only looking at 3 prints.
Plus everything this morning.
Which should just be the guy that's scared.
Definitely the guy that's scared.
The guy who did the murder, and then the guy working.
They cleaned.
Supposed murder.
Well, if it's only 2 prints,
If he cleaned the keyboard between.
And then if he was just, I'm gonna ask the question here. If he was working through the night, they come into a dead man. They get the dead man cleaned up, and people just start using the materials again immediately. It's the same day. If somebody died on my keyboard, I don't think I'd touch it.
That's a fair point. So yeah, there's very few prints then.
Ah.
But is there more than 2? Like 2 different kinds?
Just so I don't lead you astray, I'm going to say no. There's not.
Not a clue he has prepared.
It's not a clue. If I gave you that as a clue, it would change things.
Also, why wouldn't the police find it?
The police wouldn't think to look. That's why they're hired us.
You do not have a large standing among the police of this fictional world, do you?
Well, with my track record, you'd understand.
There's a reason they call him Black Swan.
Exactly.
Is there any sort of like login sheets anywhere? Paper?
To
Or maybe even on the computer, are there
Well, it's a
Say,
robotics
like,
company.
does it register who comes in and out? Like, which key card does he come in and out?
Okay, so you're trying to figure out if there was anybody else keyed in, logged in to the building, like swiped in, while he was there,
Yes.
right? The answer is no. He was actually alone, according to the logs.
Well, I also want to know who was last logged in and who last was logged out and all that the stuff around it.
The very last person. They all leave normal times. There's nobody's staying late besides the boss, or at least no later than normal.
All right, I'm gonna pull my gloves out of my forensic equipment and let's start eating away. Am I able to look at the program that runs the claw?
Right. The answer is yes, but
Before he does that, I am not going to be anywhere near the claw. I saw
Fair.
what happened to that fucking claw. It is too dangerous. I don't want to die.
Dangerous.
Stand
Let me
behind the line.
All right. So the screen for this computer takes most of the desk, and it is clearly touch activated. But an ergonomic keyboard sits adjacent to the screen. A bright welcome message appears, then moves to the system's interface, and you can roll information technology investigation threshold of 17.
Come on. You know my rolls aren't that good.
So roll better.
It's gonna be logic plus 1?
Courage plus protocol override is yours.
Of course it's courage.
Yeah.
I thought you liked courage.
Eh,
Wasn't that why we chose that one?
it's an okay thing.
Yeah, roll for it.
Is it just courage?
Plus your protocol override skill. Did you buy it?
Yeah, but
I know you wanted to.
yeah, but I don't know what the bonus to that would be.
However many ranks you bought in it. So if you bought 2 ranks, you had 2 ranks.
Okay.
Tell him you bought 7 ranks.
You can't buy 7
afford
ranks.
that. So yeah, we'll say 2 ranks.
Nobody. Okay, you're plus courage plus 2.
Oh, that's a high number. Yes.
That's a high number. Yeah, you beat it. So you have, as you're logging in, current user you find is labeled instructional and allows read-only access to several files. This must have been used to show the coding to either investors or new team members. This gives you access to the code that operates the arms. Read access, and you can keep digging in.
I would love to keep digging in. Actually, could I use... Well, do I have to roll again?
Yeah.
Okay. So in this case, I'm going to use Control-Z and Shift-Control-Z to see what changes were made.
I will.
Just pretend to add that.
Yeah, roll.
Oh,
Solid point.
Yeah. Just we'll go ahead and roll logic. We're saying you're doing a little bit of testing on the code. You want that 17. Oh, was that your roll?
unfortunate.
11. Yeah. So you're typing away. Your Control Z, Control Shift Z. You don't find anything just yet, but you've discovered a lot of places that weren't useful. A lot of gibberish too. Before we get back into the computer, does anybody else want to look at anything else?
Everyone else needs to go around before I roll again.
Gonna head out of the lab and start looking around the rest of the building for anything. Visual analysis, I think, is the only thing I have that can work with that.
I'll tell you what, I will, as you're doing that, you have wandered into the documentation station, which is an investigation node.
I would like to visual analysis this room. Actually, do I have skim reading? I think I do. I want to do skim reading through the documentation.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I was going to say it's a library skill. Go ahead and roll.
14.
14 is not enough for you to get anything pertinent, but you get through some binders.
Moving on to the next binders. Go back to them. I will continue reading in this background.
Okay, so you're reading in the background. What is Echo doing?
So Echo was staring hard at Milo McCormick. He says he woke up. Does that mean that when he saw the dead body, he fainted?
He said he woke up. I don't think I said that. Did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
I don't remember that. He did not wake up.
That's a completely different line of questioning.
Okay, what's the different line of questioning then?
Okay. So this 19-year-old kid, first one to come into the robotics lab in the morning, sees the body, calls the police.
Right.
Who else did you call?
I called my boss, Paul Grisham, and I called my girlfriend. That was pretty traumatic, I'll tell you that.
Are you always the first one here in the morning?
Yeah, they have the interns get everything booted up so all the engineers can come in here fresh-faced.
And is Mr. Fernandez usually still here at that time?
No, he's... I'll be honest, he's usually one of the last ones here, but don't worry, he works late through the night. He's not trying to skim the company or anything.
Irrelevant. All right. Do you have anything else you wish to tell me?
Let me see if he does.
Anything interesting about that morning? Were there other cars here?
No other cars. There was that smell, when something goes wrong with your electric outlets, that acrid odor. Had some of that.
There was a scent in the air.
Yeah.
Applied electronics.
Which that was the last thing that Milo has for you for now. So that node is locked, as well as Lisa Fernandez.
Don't leave town, Milo. I may need more information from you.
I've still got the full workday, but okay.
Good. Wait a minute. Your boss is dead and they're making you work?
Yeah.
What kind of company is this?
We'd make you work if one of us was dead.
That's completely different. You're not my boss.
Yes, we are.
I will talk to your supervisor about this.
We don't have one. We are the supervisor.
You, Milo's supervisor. He just gave me another name.
He did.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I was having part of this conversation. I'm not in the same room as you.
Anyway, it's someone else's name.
Anyway, let's dive into this computer a little bit more, which you have 11 points towards this investigation.
We're good.
Oh, damn.
I finally.
All right, so I'm at 30. You know, you're 1 point off of getting a second detail. So there's a timestamp under the username. Go ahead.
So I had a 11 before, right? Is the leftover points on the 22 enough to be considered a supreme success by any chance?
No, it doesn't.
Dang.
Doesn't work like that for this one.
Can't blame me for trying.
But you see a timestamp under the username Ravo Admin. It shows a change written to allow an unsafe voltage into protective hardware interlocks. This is from 2 days ago. The code was entered, and Lisa Fernandez and Milo McCormick are no longer locked for you.
Oh, for him.
For anyone who has that information, which we're gonna assume that you guys are sharing information freely.
Oh,
Got it.
well, in that case, I'm gonna also scope in and look for changes in the voltage.
Yeah, it's the voltage is higher. It's by the program, it is being sent higher.
Was that one of the changes?
Yes. Yeah, when I say allow an unsafe voltage, what I mean is it sent an unsafe voltage.
Yes.
Like it was told to?
Yes, correct.
Something like this would normally have a surge protector, and somebody overwrote that.
No, it's similar to, let's say, overclocking. The solenoid is the protector. So it was fried
I don't
to
know.
increase power, increase the strength. Probably of the hydraulic.
Echo doesn't know computers.
Echo doesn't know computers.
I only just bought two.
Yeah, I just learned about computers the other day. All right. So we have, next up is Ileana in the library with the candlestick.
I guess text depth examination, since I did skim reading last time.
Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and roll for it.
I have worse in that one than I do with skim reading, even though skim reading is supposed to be the lower skill. 13.
27 is your total, which brings you 7 points over the threshold. You find a binder that describes the proprietary short loop feedback, which provides the machine with near instant reaction time. It's one of the things that allows Revo to be a top contender in the automation market, is this proprietary short loop feedback.
Oh, there's no lag.
She'll nod and send that information to everyone else, I guess. Keep looking.
Keep looking. All right. Next we can see what Echo's got going on.
Where's Ms. Fernandez?
She's nearby. She's not going too far.
Excellent. Ms. Fernandez?
Yes.
Who, I should say, would have admin privileges on this device?
Go ahead and make your social roll.
Oh,
so I'm gonna give you. You're probably gonna end up with 2 details here.
Excellent. Can I use my mentalism on this?
Yes, you can. You are getting sleepy.
So that's that. 4, 6. Okay.
Hey, Brad, your screen's changed on the Twitch.
What's it look like?
Discord. Oh, it's back.
17.
All right, so 17, and this is a credible source. Lisa is a credible source, which means you get 8. You get a detail at 8, and then a detail every 5 more than that. So you got 1 detail for 8, 1 detail for 13, and you would have gotten a third detail at 18. There's only 2 details left.
Got it.
So the 2 details you get are, 1, no one is supposed to use Revo admin to make changes. That's an account for emergencies only. And the second thing you get is the only ones with access to the Revo admin account are Theodore Teddy Lackameyer, Danielle Reyes, Paul Grisham, and Alexis Lexi Johnson. And those are all suspects. They all have means.
We have 3 suspects now.
3 more suspects.
I thought Teddy was already one of our suspects.
Yes, that's why I said 3 more suspects.
Oh. I completely
Yeah, there were 4 people he just mentioned.
I completely glossed over Paul Grisham.
Which you heard his name previously from Milo McCormick.
Right.
He said his
tuned him out.
supervisor, but he never said the supervisor's name.
He did.
He
I
did.
think he said Mr. Grisham. Anyway, it's regardless. Okay. So now we have additional individuals. And this piece of information that we got, the admin stamp, it had a time stamp on it, right? 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Any of these
Where
guys off last
is... Yes, the employee records.
Who are you asking that? Employee records?
And did anybody take an impromptu vacation in the last 48 hours?
I'm assuming we're asking Milo and Lisa.
Yeah, they would know this. So it wasn't in the last 48 hours. It was several, not 2 weeks. Hold on. I'm trying to think of my timeline here. No, it was about a week ago. Teddy Lackemeyer. He's been on vacation.
Probably not him then. People don't come back from vacations to murder people.
Except when they do.
Except when they do.
Never been done in the history of murder.
I got to copy this over for you.
What is the character's name in the library right now?
Ileana?
Ileana, thank you. Ileana should check their employee records and see what the other three have been up to in the last 48 hours.
All right. I guess I'm doing that then. Or I'm going to try to.
What Milo said was that he's the first one here, but when he found the dead body, he called his boss, Paul Grisham, who is not here, right? He's not there.
He's not there yet.
Information lookup, I guess?
All right. He is in the building now. He wasn't at the time.
Exactly. So where was he before this?
That home breakfast. All right. So you're doing some information lookup. Go ahead and roll that.
13.
Where is my library? There it is. Documentation station. You got 13. You got 7 carryover. Hey, that's the perfect amount. You got exactly the 20.
Yeah.
You do find a tech sign-out binder. A tech sign-out binder that shows that Teddy checked out a remote device to work on the software from his vacation.
Knew he would come back from the murder.
He's not coming back.
Is Teddy around?
Yes, Teddy is around.
Okay. Yep, I'm going to continue looking around the library, but make sure that information gets to everyone else. I'm not done in here until I'm told I am.
Until I'm told I am.
This is a robotics team. This is a whole computer sciencey group of individuals. Where's their IT department?
They are the IT department.
Exactly. Somebody should be tracking this.
They are.
This is a closed-loop interconnected server.
Yeah.
Every computer keystroke gets logged. They know something.
They know something.
They could.
That's the thing, is the thing that was logged, the thing that changed, was made under an account they weren't supposed to use.
Exactly. Which means there's an IP address attached to it, which means that we know whose computer it came from.
The computer attached to the robotic arm. Okay. Yeah, the computer that made the changes is the one with the robotic arm.
Yeah, but if you connected from a remote device, that means he would have had to tunnel into the system. To tunnel into the system, they would have to log that information. But
I see what you're saying.
Echo doesn't know that.
Okay.
Not necessarily. If they were using I forget what it's called. There's some remote services that would do it like over a private interface, where it would show up as the original computer.
You still have to log the IP. Even if you're running through the single-use VPN, it still logs the IP in order to connect to the system. Yeah, which is really dumb because
it's encrypted through the software.
But
if they uninstall the software afterwards, you're kind of SOL.
Yeah, but we don't have that information here. That's not what happened. So
I just
we'll find somebody else.
The last little bit of information and get off this computer.
You needed a 1. I'm pretty sure that's what you had left. You find several functions copied into a memory card, simply labeled Lexi's data.
Whoa.
Oh, he's making this a fucking whodunit, isn't he?
There is more information that you have not removed. You have not discovered everything with the interface. That's probably me telling you too much, but I figure you should know that.
Lexi's data makes it feel like she's selling information to a rival company.
It's like somebody's USB.
I'm picturing like
it does look like somebody's USB. That would be funny.
Floppy disk.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
All right. That was Black Swan. So what is Echo up to?
Okay. Well, I told Mr. McCormick that I would be going to talk to his supervisor. So let's go find Paul Grisham.
Paul Grisham. All right. Paul is in his early 40s with a strong jawline and broad shoulders. His charcoal blazer hangs loose in his midsection, but holds tight at his large forearms. His striped green tie is haphazardly knotted and reveals an unrestrained top button.
Hello, Mr. Grisham.
Hi. What do you want?
I hear you were one of the first people who were called about the incident this morning.
Yeah, I guess.
Now, it's true that witness statements are often unreliable after the fact. Can you tell me what Mr. McCormick told you when he called you?
Said Guillermo was dead. Rest his soul. Is stabbed by that robotic arm.
Stabbed by it?
I guess. grabbed by it, something.
Interesting. Mr. Grisham, can I ask why Mr. McCormick is still here and has not been sent home or to a therapist?
I mean, he wants this job, right? He's an intern. He's got to work for it.
He found a dead man on your floor this morning. Surely.
All right, you want me to send him home? I'll send him. But get you off my back.
I just want to know why the rules do not allow for a man to take a few moments to collect himself after finding a dead body.
You must not work in tech, I'll tell you that much.
Does this happen a lot?
Working through. My grandma died a few weeks ago. You don't see me taking a day off.
Did she die at your workplace with the equipment that you work on?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to say, no. She could not keep up with evolving technology. It would be very frustrating to work with her.
Agreed. Well, dwell on that. Mr. Grisham, did you know that there's only a handful of people in this facility who know the system admin account?
Yeah, what of it?
Did you know that it was used to access that robotic arm several days ago?
I did not.
You are in charge of this robotic arm, are you not?
I'm the database manager.
Okay, so in the database, I should question, would it not be logged, the particular incident being accessed? Surely admin would be a flagged situation. Mrs. Fernandez said that such an account would not be used unless in an emergency. So does your system not track said data?
It shows the account was logged into.
Right. And if that doesn't throw up a red flag, if nobody's here to do it, does the system not say, hey, someone's in the admin account?
I'm sure all of our accounts are logged. It's not going to send any red flags. We don't have alarm bells going on in here. We're not going to sound the alarm every time somebody logs into a computer.
Well, no, obviously not. But you would think certain situations would account for, hey, someone's in the admin account. Why?
Like a dead body.
There's 4 of us with the admin account.
Yes, but I was told that you're not supposed to use it.
No, we're not supposed to use it. We can.
Are they within earshot of Black Swan?
I'm probably at wherever Mr. Grisham's office is.
It's if he's a data analyst, wouldn't he be near the document station?
Yeah, I can see that.
Then I would like to do body language, interpret body language.
He's gruff. Go ahead, roll.
16.
Okay, let's see if there's actually any information I can just give to you. Yeah, he seems like he's got a chip in his shoulder. That's the vibe you get. He's gruff. He's aggressive.
Okay, then I would like to use my mentalism, and I would just like to ask him the simple question of, Mr. Grisham, aside from the unfortunate unpleasantness that has happened today, do you think that anybody would have done this on purpose?
Okay.
We know what 4 people had access. Teddy has it, Paul has it, Lexi has it. Yeah, Miss Fernandez told us.
Yeah, you know which 4. Teddy Lackemeyer, Lexi Johnson, Danielle Reyes, and Paul Grisham.
Okay, so if 4 people had access to it, then what access was Mr. Fernandez using? Because that would be 5.
I should say 4 living people have access to it.
Damn, I thought I had something.
Anyway,
you might in the future. You might be onto something, but you don't know that yet. So you got 15, and you're rolling for mentalism. You said.
Yeah, I want to get the question is, do you think anyone here would have had the audacity to do such a thing on purpose?
Can't say that anyone would. That's crazy talk. With your role, I do feel like I got to give you a detail, even though you're asking questions that don't go anywhere near the details. So he's going to continue, and he's going to say, especially Lexi, that she's a transplant from Nuevo Communications, which is about all I know about her. So I definitely can't help you with her.
Nuevo Communications, the rival company?
Nuevo Communications, the rival company.
So we have Nuevo Communications, the rival company, a transplant that has sysadmin access and a memory card plugged into the computer that killed the guy in charge.
You do have that. That's correct.
It sounded more and more like Teddy did it, but that's off the record.
Interesting. I'm curious about your thought process there. Because it seemed like you were pointing at Lexi, and then all of a sudden you shifted to Teddy.
Of course it's going to look like we're pointing at Lexi, but if she's a transplant from a rival company, like, who's going to be able to get her the position that has sysadmin access so quickly that the guy in charge of data doesn't know anything about her?
I think that rolls into my next role for the computer, because she could be giving information of that company to this company, which would pretty much clear.
Or vice versa.
But
right, then we'll roll back to the next person. Then
has this company's information, then we're talking about something entirely different. And since the computer's not locked yet,
it would be awfully awfully suspicious to have Lexi's data written on the memory card and then it being full of company secrets. I mean, come on.
Yeah, then it looks like a frame, but it does give us something to work with.
Oh, nice. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I'm done talking to Mr. Grisham.
Done talking to Mr. Grisham. So while the other computers that the engineering team works on are damn near state of the art, the hardware on this is a considerable downgrade. There seems to be an effort to ensure that the ARMs are less demanding on Revo's customer base as you're scoping through the computer, getting information.
Okay, so. Well, that stumped us all.
That stumped us all. All right, who wants to do what next?
Testing backwards.
Well,
What? The information.
And back to.
Would I know? Like, if I okay. Or do I have to keep rolling?
What are you trying to determine?
If the information that's inside the are we talking like a USB stick?
Yeah.
It's still plugged in.
Yeah.
Is the information on it aspects of Nuevo or is it Revo?
Here's the thing, right? Either way, it's going to match Revo's information, right?
Not necessarily.
Because if it was copied over, so I'll tell you, it does match. Like if you're comparing these two things side by side, some of the functions that are on the control arm match the information on the USB stick.
Am I able to check properties of creation date?
Yeah. From that, you can tell that the USB is copied from the computer.
There we go.
Rather than the other way around. But at the same time, now I don't want to discourage your thought. I also don't want to encourage it. I just want to make this clear. Because they all operate, because this is the central machine that connects directly to the control arm, that means if they work on their own personal computers and then bring the information back and forth, that would be a normal practice for this group. Yeah. So it's not it's incriminating,
but it's also
maybe not. Yes, no, but it's also not necessarily.
So I get a modified date, which will tell me whether or not she's been there in the last couple of days, which may or may not match. Now, if as you said, it was copied from the computer, that means it wasn't copied from the drive. So I have a modified date versus a created date, which means the information was pulled, not inputted in. So Lexi didn't create the script that killed him.
Yes.
So it's vital information, but it's not going to get us
from the USB. Okay. And then what were you saying for Ileana?
Skim reading. Back to looking for information. 18.
You discover that there are 5 interlocks that prevent the robotic arm from applying enough pressure to inflict the wound found on Guillermo Fernandez. It's a lot of interlocks.
And all of them would have to be bypassed.
Yes.
Yep, that information is getting sent to the others, specifically Black Swan with a question mark for back to examination.
Next, let's see what goes up to.
Well, obviously, we have to go talk to Daniel Reyes.
Is that computer?
Daniel Reyes.
That computer is still unlocked?
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was set to... It is logged in right now for display. It seems like there was supposed to be some kind of shareholder demonstration, is the impression you get.
That's right. You were in read-only mode when you first got in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danielle Reyes.
All right. Danielle Reyes is in her late 20s and is a bit shorter than her peers. Her dark hair is tied back in a somewhat loose ponytail. She wears a lab coat that has clearly been used often while working on machinery. A streak of black grease on her left cheek and chin indicates she was recently working on one of the machines in the robotics lab.
Hello, Ms. Reyes.
Well, hi.
You seem to be an engineer of sorts. I can tell by your physical activity.
That would do it. Yeah. What can I do you for?
Have you noticed any unusual system behavior in the last couple of days?
Not anything in particular. No, we also haven't been working on it really for a couple of days. So you do some coding, you do some simulations, you work it on the smaller control arms, then you bring the information over to the bigger control arm, you activate that. Kind of how this process works. Now,
that makes sense.
If I may toot my own horn, you know that proprietary short loop feedback? Have you heard about that in the papers?
Not from the papers, but I have heard about it several times today.
Oh, that was my creation. I did it myself.
Oh, congratulations. Interestingly enough, I would have to question if it's your creation and you work for the company. Do you hold a patent?
Yes. Yeah, it's patented under my name and Revo.
Interesting. You are one of only a handful of people with sysadmin access, correct?
Yeah, the Revo admin account, yeah. It's a little bit different than sysadmin, but yeah.
Above the sysadmin then?
Yeah.
Why is it only used for emergencies?
Yeah, we like to see who does what We like to make sure everybody's putting in the code right. And if we do see any issues, we can talk to the person, figure out why they coded it that way, work with them, fix it, that kind of thing. Make sure we cover each other.
Right. And I assume the Revo admin account, since it is shared amongst higher-ups, it's hard to tell who made these changes?
Yeah, if you were to make a change with the Revo account, yeah, it'd be hard to tell who did it.
How many of... The question I would have here is, how many of the people who have access to the Revo admin account would be smart enough to change how much energy is sent through the arm?
That's pretty basic function. I think all of them would.
Well, I assume that there would be a limitation on, because if you sent too much through the arm, it would cease to work at all. And, wait a minute.
Well, I mean, you got to understand, to have the Revo admin account, you've got to be the top programmers in our fields.
Yes. Do you know? It's a hard question to ask. Something just turned over in my head here, outside of Echo. You said that it was in a read-only account because there was something supposed to happen this morning. Investors or a tour, basically.
Yes.
Because the company was going public.
Yes.
The company was going public. There was supposed to be a tour this morning. The arm was sabotaged 2 days ago, and then the guy worked late, and it accidentally killed him.
Yes.
So somebody was trying to sabotage this launch.
Possibly.
The arm malfunctioned early. It wasn't supposed to happen until today.
Possibly. I mean, that's conjecture, but yeah, those are valid thoughts that you have.
How do we get this information out of them?
I mean, you could roll for it.
Hang on. I have Echo had divination.
Right. Okay.
And a dowsing pendulum, which helps him divine the answers to yes or no question.
There's more that you can do with the dowsing rod.
I believe it, but right now it says yes or no question. So the question becomes, is Austin right?
Inconclusive.
Okay, so I'm talking to Danielle Reyes.
Right.
The people who have access to this, the higher ups, how many of them would have known that the company was going public? Is this something that would be talked about amongst them, or would it just be between the VP, the president? Like, because I don't want to ask her and give it away. I would have to go talk to Miss Fernandez again.
The easiest thing for me to tell you is it's not a secret. It is what it is. Like it is, but it isn't.
Okay. Then so Paul doesn't seem to have any particular care. Lexi, all evidence that we have currently is pointing to Lexi being like the last one to touch it. Miss Reyes, do you know anything about Lexi Johnson? I hear she was brought over from a competitor's team.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She usually stays late and works hard. Probably one of our hardest workers, honestly.
Can I ask how she rose through the ranks so fast if she came over from a rival?
It's because she came over from a rival. She's got the experience.
She always stays late?
I realized that I put always there. So verbally, I changed that to
commonly.
Commonly, yeah, usually, because she did not stay late the night before.
Interesting.
I have to change that in the actual document too.
All right, Miss Reyes, do you know of anyone who would want to willingly sabotage the launch of this company into the public eye?
I mean, I don't think it's worth killing for, but Teddy became CEO right after Guillermo met his unfortunate end.
True. Based on the information that we've been able to collect so far, the unfortunate death of Guillermo could still be ruled as an accident. But based on the timing of it all, it does feel like that the sabotage was meant to happen this morning as people were coming to look at it. And it does feel like sabotage. It most certainly is.
But I suppose if it was sabotage, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
The Revo admin account was used to send, what did you say, an unsafe amount of voltage through the arm?
Yeah.
In a way that would most certainly cause a malfunction.
Is that meta or is that Danielle?
Which part?
Knowing that too much voltage was set through.
I mean, Danielle does know that.
Danielle's an engineer, like of the thing, so she would know that.
Yeah, she created the short loop feedback.
Right, but she would be more concerned about her project, her baby, if it malfunctioned.
Right, but does she know it malfunctioned in that way? Like, obviously she knows it malfunctioned, but did it malfunction, or was it used directly to murder someone? Oh, that's a good point. Can I aura read her?
There it is.
Yeah.
Yes, smart man. 24.
24. Yeah, you get curiosity is very strong. Like, one, she is now curious. You can sense that you have inspired her curiosity, but the happenings definitely have her curious.
Interesting. Perhaps you would like to talk to my associate, Mr. Swan.
Yeah. So, Swan? Black Swan?
Hi. And you are...
Daniel Reyes.
Can you tell me what you know about what's going on in this system here?
You're gonna have to be more specific, I think. What's going on in the system?
Yeah, well...
So we got a database restructure coming up. Progress will be going a lot faster.
Okay. Well, it looks like this whole thing got fried. I'm playing dumb here on this one. Can you explain a little bit about what may have happened here?
You said it was fried?
Yeah, you can smell the whole thing is burnt.
Yeah, I got here less than an hour ago. I just got my coffee. I've been done phone calls all morning. Plus, hold on, let me retract that because I don't want you to think she's actually lying to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, she is telling the truth. She's been mostly on phone calls. I also was working on one of the smaller control arms because they were trying to move up the investor showcase. I was going to use a smaller control arm, maybe bring it out to them rather than bring them here into the crime scene. So I hadn't even gotten a chance to look at the big control arm.
Do you think something may have gone wrong with the short loopback?
It would point to that direction. I'm sorry to say it, but I don't want to say that. I would love to say that it wasn't the short loop feedback failure, but I can't say for certain.
Why not?
I haven't seen it yet. Haven't spent any time looking through the code or looking at the solenoids.
All right. Can I roll to have her look at the code and me under the guise of cross-reference from what I found earlier to what she pulls up to see if I can find a fault, if she tries to hide something or she finds the problem?
Yeah, I get it. She would find it probably faster than you did. And if you're watching her, yeah, that would make sense. She'd find it just fine. It's like, this is sabotage. Can't believe it.
Is she any hesitation in her at all? Anything that would raise suspicion from Echo?
Nothing. Nope. She's not shifty about dealing with this code
Just
or looking at it.
Trying to figure out what changed?
Yeah. All right. How about Ileana? What's Ileana up to?
Still in the library, of course.
All right.
Until I'm kicked out, I am not leaving. Can I do cross-reference?
Yeah.
With the information I found and such.
Sure.
23.
23. That is a great roll. So you feel confident that you have found all the pertinent information that the documentation station has to offer, and you get a hunch, which is going to be extra experience at the end of the session. It's also a point that you can spend on an investigation roll that gives you 3 die instead of just your normal 2d10. It'll be 3d10. So your time in the library has given you a hunch.
All right.
Would you like to do something else? Because give you a little bit more time in the spotlight.
Can I go to the morgue? I want to examine the body.
For what?
Guillermo?
Yeah, like, is it possible to go examine the body to see, since we haven't seen the body yet? We know what we're told, but I want to look over the wounds, I guess, and verify everything, see if anyone missed something. Or do I have to stay on site?
It's not that you have to stay on site, but for your character to leave, go to the morgue, look at the body, and come back. I want to save you a little bit of time. And you pulled up the police record earlier. Yeah. Just for the sake of keeping you here, of not sending you down a rabbit hole you don't need to go down. Let's say you found the autopsy report. You found some pictures. Maybe you weren't supposed to. Maybe you broke into the police database. You can see the wounds borrowed. Yeah. The wounds match the automated control arm.
Okay. Guess I'll go back to the robotics lab and just do a visual analysis there.
All right. Go ahead and roll that.
14. Why did I get a 23 on the, there's nothing left here roll?
So, there was at least one carryover. I know that. So, the thing that you find is the newspaper from earlier. You turn it over and find an article that says the standing CEO of Revo overturns decision to go public. Revo Machines.
Yeah, I'm reading that article.
It basically outlines it. The synopsis of the article that you read is that Teddy Lackemeyer is currently the standing CEO, and he overturns the decision from before. It's not going public. It's remaining private due to the sensitive nature of the recent CEO's death. In this tumultuous time for the company.
How the fuck did it get in the newspaper so fast? He died this morning. This is a planned article, it feels like.
And she said that it was being kept away from the public.
Snoops. They're very snoopy.
I knew she shouldn't have called the police. You made me question my... I fucking knew it.
How did he
knew it.
override the wife? Like, wouldn't she become major shareholder?
Not in the privatized sector. You don't become the major shareholder until it goes public. He was the VP, so now he's the CEO and he makes the major decisions. There's no board under them to deal with it.
Tarot reading.
Tarot reading.
17.
Let's see. It was a 17 on tarot reading. What does a tower mean?
That's a good question.
That seems like a good card. I don't know why. It just does. Oh, sudden upheaval. Yep. You get a tower.
Right side up or right
All
side
right.
down?
Right side up. All right. Who's up next? Echo?
Well, that means that so Danielle Reyes is currently being preoccupied by information that Black Swan is overlooking. So next suspect that we have access to, Lexi Johnson.
Lexi Johnson.
I communicate with Echo with my eyebrows that Danielle doesn't seem like much of a suspect.
I will wiggle eyebrows back. Agreed.
All right. Lexi is in her mid-30s with the streaks of gray highlighting her voluminous dark curls. Her makeup is subtle yet precise, highlighting her dark skin. A singular strand of cat hair shows two things. The first is that she owns an orange cat, and the second is that she is a wizard at keeping her clothing free of stray strands. Appearances must be very important to her.
By the way, when they're wiggling their eyebrows at each other, Ileana's first thought is that they're flirting.
Like bees.
Like bees.
That isn't actually her first thought. I just wanted to make the joke.
Okay, obviously, first set, Aura Read.
Aura Read.
This is turning out to be a surprisingly useful skill.
Right.
I didn't think I would use it so much.
Yeah, you were about to get rid of it. I'm like, that's kind of like, it's a strong skill.
16.
The feeling you get from her is sort of she's putting on a face. Her posture is very intentional. You get a lot of intentionality out of Lexi's aura.
Excellent. Hello, Miss Johnson.
Yes. Who are you?
I am Mr. Carter, but you can call me Echo.
I'll be sure to call you Echo.
It's so much easier. Now then, I've heard many things about you today, Miss Johnson. You were headhunted from a rival company, it seems?
Yes, this Revo is fantastic, especially their technical advancements in automation. At my last company, we were just communications. We hadn't gotten into automation at all.
Yes. You seem to have rose up the ranks pretty quick, coming from a communications company into a robotics one.
It was really a lateral transfer, just my expertise more in business than technology. Not to say that I don't have an expertise in technology, but these things commingle.
In business, huh? What did you think about the potential decision to take the company public in the IPO or A? I can't remember.
It's on the one hand, it's good financial. It makes good financial sense. However, once you open yourself up to shareholders, you lose a lot of autonomy, which has been Revo's greatest strength, is their ability to operate under their own leadership, of which Teddy has been fantastic and Guillermo as well, despite the fact that, they can both get quite loud.
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't like to speak poorly of anyone, really. But there was a big fight between Teddy and Guillermo recently.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you know what about?
It was that, I think you were talking about it, the decision to go public rather than private.
Oh, they were fighting about this.
It was quite loud. Everybody heard it.
Interesting. And do you happen to know how long ago this was, actually? I've heard that this Teddy individual is on vacation for the last week or so.
Yeah, he actually came back. He was on a flight back earlier today. As soon as he heard, you might see him in his office later.
Would you say he took his impromptu vacation to cool his head?
I could see that being the case. Yes.
Interesting.
She doesn't know why he went on vacation.
She's the new person in the crew. She's not really on the inner circle of the inner circle. Although she's in the inner circle, she's not in the inner circle.
Just out of curiosity, Miss Johnson, when was the last time you worked on the robotic arm, the big one?
This was 4 days ago. I've been knee deep in paperwork.
Interesting. So for 4 days, your particular USB drive was less than a system.
What are you talking about?
It would seem that Lexi's data has been connected to the computer for some time now.
Huh?
Is that yours?
Yes, it is. I thank you for finding that.
I don't have it with me. It's with my associate, I believe. The question that I would have is, Why would a single USB drive be connected to a computer for so long?
I probably forgot it as I was working on the machine.
Now, normally, I would agree with that, but 4 days, surely someone else would have to attach their own USB drive. Well, speaking with the engineer, I was told that we do some coding, and then we go and we attach it to the machine to see what's changed, and then we go back. And in 4 days, no one else has touched the code?
There's more than one USB drive, more than one USB slot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But no one else has questioned you leaving it in? I didn't see anybody else's USB drives in there.
You did. Like, not to...
She doesn't need to know that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to debunk that. Someone who's so well kept, someone who took so much importance on image, forgot something in the main system.
She is. You're right. She is very, very well put together.
If I were in there, I would definitely do interpret body language.
I'm gonna.
Since I'm not, I would suggest aura reading again.
Yeah.
Now that you brought up the USB drive.
Any of the above. Yeah. Who's rolling what?
I'll roll again on the aura now that she's flustered. I brought up the aura. I brought up.
Okay. Go ahead. Roll both. Roll both.
Me too. I'm not even in the same room. I don't think.
If you want to. If you want to get in, we'll roll all three.
These days,
17.
20.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So
That's a total
aura.
of 40.
She is very clearly flustered. She has been caught. Did you get this impression? Body language is a shift from her normal, fully upright to a bit aghast, and even your debunking is enough for her to realize one of two things is true: either she has been on the computer more recently than that, or she did leave the USB stick in for 4 days. One thing that does not seem to be the case is that somebody else put the USB stick there. Otherwise, she would have mentioned she hasn't seen it.
A slight diversion of I also want to watch Danielle's reaction to these claims.
Which claims?
Saying, someone well kept. So this doesn't seem right. Lexi getting flustered. What is Danielle's reaction to that?
Danielle, she wasn't necessarily in the room.
She was on the computer.
But we all.
I got a question.
What room are we in?
Okay, you're in different parts of the room.
Yeah, I'm
and
assuming it's a
like
very
now,
big room.
Yeah.
Circular in design kind of thing. Robotic arms relatively in the middle. Older tech on that. Some humming. Like that's what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
But I'm picturing them like Lexi and Echo being like 10 feet away. Enough for me to speak up and say something. And with us still working on the computer right there. Like, is Danielle like just trying to keep her head down? And like, is her curiosity more important than what's being said?
Oh yeah, engineers are crazy people.
Probably, yeah. She's probably like fully focused on her work.
Miss Johnson, I did have another question. Who headhunted you exactly?
Guillermo himself, actually.
Interesting.
And Teddy also put me up for recommendation.
That's what I thought. I thought it was
you
Teddy.
know Mr. Lackenmeyer?
I didn't. We met first thing. I guess they wanted more acumen, more technical expertise, and more business expertise.
Interesting. Normally,
and
I would like to. Can I do body language again?
She's not very good at this talking to the people thing, is she?
Yeah.
She's not.
We're asking all the wrong questions here. I can tell by Mav's face.
21.
I don't know what questions we're supposed to be asking.
Why'd you
get? So body language. She wasn't. Yeah, she's. You get the feeling that she wasn't recruited by Guillermo or Teddy necessarily, or maybe it wasn't their idea to recruit her.
Miss Johnson.
Yes?
Are you stealing information for our competitor?
You, sir, have just earned some experience points. You've earned 50 experience points for the crew by uncovering a secondary crime.
I called it, like, as soon as her USB was in the drive, I called it.
Yeah, she's way too well put together to have that USB just left behind. I would like to. Can I like mentalism her for this?
I guess.
Just for. I want to see if I can.
What do you mentalism? Yeah, I mean, yeah. Go ahead and roll.
I wanted to answer honestly. 22.
22. Yep. She does confess. Yes. Nuevo was behind my joining Revo. The plan was to join the automation race and put Nuevo even farther ahead. We focused mostly in communications, but we were expanding into the automation department.
Yes, I saw that in the paper this morning. They just opened up a robotics as soon as a competitor came to the foremost robotics space in the area, and now their competitors opening a robotics lab. Seems surprising that no one else saw this coming.
And I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you pesky kids.
That is the situation for your supervisors to handle. The question now is, are you the one who sabotaged the arm?
I couldn't have sabotaged the arm. I never actually got access to the Revo admin account like I was supposed to.
So it wasn't
Interesting.
4 people who had access.
Well, I mean, she's only been in the headspace for a little while, so it was overlooked because this Paul Grisham guy, the guy in charge of data, doesn't know anything about her.
Yeah, but
So
remember when I
that's
said
just
there
a
was
beef
4
that
people,
he has.
which would have been the victim and then 3 suspects. So
Yeah.
True.
Remember when I said you were right, but not exactly? Yeah, I did. I said something along those lines. That's why.
So, Teddy Lackenmeyer. Lexi Johnson, we should let Ms. Fernandez know that Lexi Johnson is a spy for the other corporation and have her handle that to the best of her ability, clearly, and we need to go see Mr. Lackenmeyer.
Mr. Lackenmeyer. Yeah.
Lackenmeyer. There's no N there. Lackenmeyer.
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 Yeah, so
And-
go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say, thought you finished, that I'm just going to continue investigate visual analysis on the crime scene.
All right. You go ahead and roll that while I describe Teddy Lackenmeyer. Teddy is in his early 50s, but one would be forgiven for thinking he was at least a decade younger. The tall man is as lively as he greets others. His silver hair stands with an aerodynamic pose as though he were walking into the wind. A matching beard is well manicured and kept close to his face. He wears black framed glasses and a light gray suit with a canary yellow dress shirt and no tie. And 11 was your scene. You're feeling pretty confident about the scene itself. Like you're familiar. You don't find anything new.
is there anything left on the computer to go after?
You go ahead.
The hourglass is still there, though.
Yeah. The magnifying glass will be there until you verify there is nothing else. So there might be nothing else. You won't know that until you reach the end, which is when you get your hunches.
Hello, Mr. Lackenmeyer. Oh,
Hey,
sorry. Did I
go
jump
ahead.
ahead of anybody?
I don't know what the 16 is for.
Right.
I'm still attacking the computer.
With a crowbar?
Yeah, whack, whack, whack. You feel pretty confident that you have uncovered everything that the robotics interface has to offer, and you also have a hunch, which can be spent to roll 3 dice instead of 2.
Perfect. I'd like to thank Danielle for her time and looking into it with me and let her know that we're going to move on to something else.
Oh, sounds good. I'll catch you later. All right. So here's Teddy.
Hello, Mr. Lackenmeyer.
Well, how do you do?
Well, we would be doing well. I'm going to be honest. We're doing well since we're being paid, but it would be better if we didn't have to come here today at all.
I get the feeling. I wish I didn't have to come back today either.
Yes, I hear you went on vacation and came back early due to the unpleasant business of this morning.
Yeah, Guillermo, I know I'm hiding you well. Guillermo's one of my best friends. Paul and I have been together since our MIT days.
Interesting. So, I would like to ask Mr. Lackenmeyer, you flew back this morning. How long have you been in your office today?
5 minutes, if that even. They mobbed me on the way in.
They mobbed you on the way in. So you just got back.
That's correct.
Then I would have to ask Mr. Lackenmeyer why your first order of business before you've even clearly sat down is to go against your late boss's wishes and prevent the company from going public?
I did that over the phone. That was before I even got on the flight.
I think he's
Why?
asking why.
Because we can't just change our financing situation with a brand new CEO. Are you kidding? They'd eat me alive.
How so? You've been the VP for some time now.
If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I didn't want to go public in the first place. That was all Guillermo's idea.
Interesting. Mr. Lackenmeyer, it seems on your vacation, you checked out a login device for remote access?
Yeah, I did. I didn't use it at all, though. I was having too much fun, I'll tell you that.
Right. Too much fun on your vacation. So why check it out at all?
Here, yeah, I mean, I was going to work. Here, you can take a look. I still have it on me. Here. And he passes you the computer in question, the Revo mobile station computer, which is now
to Black Swan.
That is now an investigation node available to you.
All right. At this point, I walked in as they were talking, finishing up on the other computer.
Right. Yeah, go ahead and roll your IT, whichever skill that is. I think protocol override's the only one you have.
Look at all those ones.
Fantastic. You get into the boot up screen. You start looking through files. Nothing yet. You're on it.
Boot up screen. Password?
Yeah, he logs you in under his personal account.
Was there any other logins available, like a drop-down menu?
It is currently only signed in on his name.
Okay.
How about Ileana before we come back to this?
I'm going to talk to Lisa Fernandez, inform her about the Lexi situation, and ask her questions about. I can't remember what we haven't asked her yet, but she's still there. Ask, I guess, about the newspaper, I suppose.
She is still there, but I actually should take Milo McCormick off too. Oh wait, no, Milo. Yeah, I can take Milo off. You do have all the information from her, but
okay,
she's appreciative of the information.
Yeah, then I want to do palmistry on Danielle.
All right, sure. Go ahead and roll it.
18.
So as you're reading her lifeline, seems like she's gonna have a really long life. But she's chatting at the same time. So, Paul, he originally had a much bigger role in Revo, but kind of pushed out of the decision making.
He did, really. He was, really.
Yeah, I remember back when I first started, he was all over it.
Do you know why he was pushed out?
I'm not privy. That's between, Paul, Guillermo, and Teddy. There's the big three, or I should say they were the big three. Now it's the big two, and who knows?
Suppose I should go talk to him about that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad to know I'm going to live a long life.
Indeed.
All right. And let's check back with Echo and Black Swan.
Mr. Lackenmeyer, my apologies. The N just comes out sometimes.
It's no trouble.
The question that I have here is, you have a Lexi Johnson on your staff?
Yeah.
An individual from a competitive company. You, or as it seems, personally recommended her for advancement on the teams. Could you tell me why she never received her admin access?
I mean, that's Paul's dig. She's supposed to get it. If she didn't, I couldn't tell you.
Well, now, see, something about that also feels a little weird, because when I spoke to Paul, Mr. Grisham, he said he knew nothing about her, or almost nothing, just that she came from another company.
Yeah.
Why would somebody who your own data individual knows nothing about be so high up on the food chain?
I mean, she was a principal assistant over at Nuevo. We needed somebody who could restructure the business, but not go public. That was the problem. I didn't want to go public with bringing Lexi on. And I got a buddy over at Nuevo. And he's an alright guy. He said, I got Lexi. She's great at the structuring, right? Organization and getting us set up. I figured she was the right choice. She came with glowing recommendations.
Your buddy was okay with us taking one of his best employees?
It's a corporate world.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't never seen a CEO change after 5 years. I mean, we don't. Revo, we like to keep our team tight, but out there, communication companies go through CEOs every 5-6 years.
Is Nuevo public?
Yeah, Nuevo's public.
Okay.
Interesting. That's all very suspect, Mr. Lackenmeyer. Mr. Lackenmeyer, my apologies. I would also regret to inform you that your buddy is, well, he sent a spy into your midst.
So, Lexi, you're kind of telling me that Lexi was stealing?
Yes. Unfortunately, she already confessed to taking the data. You'll notice in the paper this morning, Nuevo started up their own robotics lab. That is thanks to Lexi's sabotage, or subterfuge. My apologies.
Subterfuge. That bastard.
Yeah.
I'm calling him tonight.
As you should. The second aspect here is, did you attempt to sabotage the large robotic arm to prevent the shareholders from wanting to put in into a public credibility?
No. What? No.
Somebody did.
Well,
They used the Rio admin account to do it. We've spoken to just about everyone, and that Lexi never got her account. Danielle seemed curious and upset that somebody would do so much damage to her robotic arm. You were on vacation and say your computer never logged into the system. And when we spoke to Mr. Grisham, he said that it was impossible to track where the admin account came from.
which I'm continuing to
That
check
seems,
for
yeah, which he is continuing to check for now. If you are proven truthful, which from your cheery demeanor, possibly. Actually, can I get an aura read on this guy?
Sure.
Why is everyone so happy? Their boss just got brutally murdered.
By their own equipment. Aren't they? Shouldn't they be scared that it'll turn on them next? They're still working.
It was AI taking over. Yeah, so he's still coming off of the vacation high. Yeah, you see he's got his tan lines, skin is glowing.
No one's afraid that it's going to happen to them because without the solenoids, that thing's useless. It's not going to move, function, or otherwise.
Yeah, like nobody's even working on the control arm currently anyway.
But they were working on it last night. He was working on it last night, probably in preparations for whatever tour you were supposed to have today.
That would definitely make sense.
But the information set to fry the system was almost 48 hours ago.
What makes you say that?
My companion here.
The information changed, but the execution happened. But yeah, we found the information in the system already.
Crazy.
So,
I thought it was an accident.
yes, his death may be an accident. His death may be an accident.
Wait a second.
The sabotage was certain.
Wait a second.
What do you have,
Teddy,
Mr.
who
Swamp?
who called you about this?
Lisa did.
Who told her?
Wasn't she called when... didn't Milo
called
say he
Grisham.
called her?
I was pretty sure I said Milo called her.
Milo called Paul.
Yeah, I think he called Grisham,
He didn't
and
call
I
her.
think he called her as well.
Oh,
I thought
we need to
I
talk
thought
to
he
Paul.
said
Paul.
she was
Paul
one of the
would've
people
called her.
called.
Right, because Milo called Paul and then his girlfriend, and
And
then
the-
Paul
and the
had to have
cops.
called Lisa, and Lisa would have called Teddy, which means that the next information comes back to Mr. Grisham, doesn't it?
Mr. Grisham.
I don't know.
Speaking of
I don't
Mr.
know the
Grisham,
information from Danielle that Mr. Grisham was pushed out.
Would it help if you guys got into Guillermo's office? I can open it up for you. Probably the only place you couldn't get into.
We have not even attempted. Yes, that would be appreciative. We could see what he was doing before his final moments, I suppose.
All right. Yeah.
In fact, I'm shocked that you're not in there. This is a VP's office. Surely you would have the CEO's.
Yeah, I had some books and binders I had to move over. Plus, I wasn't ready to take the big man's chair. You have access to Guillermo's office.
Excellent.
In
Scene survey time.
that moment, did I find anything else on the computer?
Yeah. You rolled 15,
Any
which
wireless connections that weren't wiped off, or
you don't find. So you find two things. The first is a draft of a letter of termination with Paul's name on it, and the second is the computer's user logs confirm no logins for the last 2 weeks.
Paul's termination letter?
That's what you find on this laptop.
Ooh, I'm the second I find it, read it, I'm going to run after Echo and inform him of what
Yes.
I found.
Oh, Mr. Lackermeyer, you need to come with us. We have to go confront Mr. Grisham.
Okay, yeah.
I'm already talking to Mr. Grisham.
All right. So,
Okay.
I'm asking him about being pushed out of the inner circle and his relationship, especially recently, with Teddy and Guillermo. I'm also doing interpret body language all the while. Like, I'm watching his body language.
okay, so, yeah, go ahead. 21, beautiful. So he's very clearly frustrated, especially as you bring this up. He's kind of snapping at you. He says, I'll get to that restructuring when I can. Everybody's always on my case. Don't they know these databases don't just fix themselves?
Explain.
That Danielle Reyes, she's not nearly as talented as she thinks she is.
What makes you say that?
But you think just because she can code some short loop feedback that she's the greatest coder to ever live? No, screw that.
I'm a little offended by that. I kind of liked her.
Yeah, I like her too. What? But that doesn't explain why you've been pushed out of the inner circle. Why you are? Have you had arguments specifically with them? Problems? Well, problems with everyone, it seems.
It's all because they think my job is the bottleneck. They think that my database isn't working the way it's supposed to. They think if they can get somebody else in here working the database, fixing the database, everything's going to magically work better.
And why haven't you done the database restructuring yet?
It takes time.
I would say at this point, it's me, Echo, and Teddy are probably showing up for this conversation.
What work have you done on the database restructuring so far? Have you even started on it?
Yeah, from several commands to run through, find aggregates, shift into the new formats.
I am thinking about the library thing. Like, yeah, this does sort of need restructuring. Am I allowed to use that for debunk?
I am.
I guess, yeah. All right, roll some debunk.
How much do you really care about
I'm-
that restructure if you're planning on leaving the company?
No, it was termination. He was getting fired.
Oh, never mind.
But
That's
I
much
was
worse.
Much worse.
yeah, how can you be doing coding for it when you have all this database on paper and this massive database room like that is obviously not been touched yet?
Yeah, they have a scan machine.
The binders themselves are printed copies of some of the elements. Plus, there's a lot of legacy information.
Mhm.
Mr. Grisham.
So yeah, does he have nothing to say to that?
Which part is like the fact that there's binders full of information?
Yes, the whole room, the whole database room, library room.
He's got state of the art.
Like, I'm asking about that as I use debunk, but I'm basically asking about that in regards to his restructuring. Like, what's your plan with that, basically?
It all takes time. I got to do it from the ground up for it to work with the new short loop feedback. It's got to be reinvented, basically.
And you're doing this all yourself?
Well, now I got Milo plus a couple other interns.
You're just relying on interns? There's no one higher up?
Not for the database.
Database is
Because the database isn't important.
The company, isn't it?
The way they see it, the code touches the data, changes the data, gets used by the code. The way they see it, database management, that's just an accessory.
Mr. Grisham, I have a question. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
What'd you say?
You seem a little upset about that. Like it's like you feel like that's not very important to everyone else.
I mean, they stop including me in the big meetings, the big decisions. I didn't even know that the company was going public until I heard it from the fucking intern.
Why
I
would
used
the
to be.
intern know before you?
That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Grisham, not to interrupt you, but I have a question.
What do you need?
Why would
Trying to give me
Mrs.
more
Johnson
while, though.
have not received her admin access code?
It's too new. Too new to the company. You can't just give away the code all willy-nilly.
How long have you had your intern, Mr. Grisham?
Milo has been with us a month and a half, I think.
And I take it he really needs this job?
He needs the job that will come after the internship.
And that would be working for you, I expect?
Here's hoping.
Paid or unpaid?
Excellent. While these two continue talking to Mr. Grisham, I'm going to go find Mr. McCormick.
All right. Yeah. Currently, Mr. McCormick is unpaid. The job that would be on the table is paid. What do you need with McCormick? Or are you just asking?
So we've come back around, right? We've come all the way back around again. Mr. Grisham, obviously, likely suspect. However, Mr. Grisham's resignation is on the table. We have termination on the table, right? We have Milo McCormick, the intern, who shows up here every day early to get everything ready for the engineers. We have him working for the man who is in the data control, right? We have an individual with a code access who they never received. We have a computer that's been wiped 2 weeks previously to prevent anyone from finding out who logged into it. Because a CEO going 2 weeks without logging into their computer is awfully suspicious.
It wasn't wiped. It's just there was so many sign-ins that like finding one is a needle in a haystack. And it would prove fruitless anyway because the changes were made on the Revo admin account.
Right, but it says that the computer's user logs confirmed no logins for the last 2 weeks.
The mobile station, yeah.
Oh, his mobile station.
The mobile station.
I thought we were in the office.
No. That was
Anyway.
the mobile station.
Anyway, I'm going to go back to Mr. McCormick, and I'm going to ask him where he heard that the company was going public.
Yeah, I heard it from one of the other interns who I guess heard it from one of the middle guys. I don't know too many people around the company. I try to keep my head down, put in the work. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you deliver their coffees, you get them their donuts, you clean up when everybody's done with their work, you input the database program.
Are you an engineer, Mr. McCormick?
Not yet. I hope to be.
Did you finish schooling for it?
Yeah, not finished yet. I'm still in school.
So you go to school and you also come here first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, my classes are at night.
It's an awful lot on your plate, Mr. McCormick.
How does he feel about the code?
What do you mean? Like emotional attachment?
The loopback, the programs that ran the system, the control arm and whatnot.
The macro, he understands it. On the micro, he does not.
Mr. McCormick, I have one final question for you.
What can I help you with?
Did you know that your boss was about to be fired?
He screamed it at me the other day.
Whoa.
So he knew he was about to be fired.
Did you not know that?
This is information that is now coming to light. He did not bring it up to us previously. Thank you.
Hey,
I'm back.
I feel like Echo was like a British wave of the hand. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to see how loyal he was to this particular individual.
Yeah, and I tried to sneak.
Nah, he doesn't seem very loyal to me.
Nah, he's definitely not. There's no loyalty here at all. Unpaid intern, he'll turn on this company in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
All right, back to Mr. Grisham.
Back to Mr. Grisham.
Why'd you do it, Mr. Grisham?
All right. But before, or I guess during, are you guys like calling the cops or are you just like confronting him? It's fine either way. Like he's not going to attack you or anything. I'm just curious.
I'm going to step back into the room, having talked to Mr. McCormick as they're currently questioning Mr. Grisham, and I'm going to just very dramatically flip my. I got a trench coat on. I'm just gonna flip like the side of it so it makes that snapping sound, and I'm gonna go, "Why'd you do it, Mr. Grisham?"
Okay, so you see anger in Paul's eyes. There's a resentment, but a hint of remorse. I didn't want to kill Guillermo. Never in my life would I have wanted to kill him. Once upon a time, he was like a brother to me. It was just supposed to go on the fritz, maybe hurt somebody. I just wanted to kill the stock price before the company went public.
Well, you certainly did that.
The company's not going public now that he's dead.
Now that he's dead.
Can't believe this.
I recorded his confession.
Good call. Good call.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna
I
hold
got
up
it
my
right
sleeve.
my coat too. But I've recorded everything.
I don't have a recorder in my trench coat. I've got a hidden camera, and I'm just gonna get a picture of his shocked face.
Hey.
All right.
And Mr. Lemire is here as well as he's made this confession, so I feel like the rest is up to them.
Yeah. What were you saying for Ileana?
I said that you was stepping away to call the cops.
Okay. Yep.
I mean, what's he gonna do?
So-
I have the master key.
Just carrying a sledgehammer called the Master Key. Yeah. So, as our investigators are bringing this case to a close, they get paid, paperwork's filled out properly, cops are called, he's arrested. Paul Grisham is arrested, case closed.
One minor note.
Now, what's that?
In our contract at the very beginning, there is a little thing that if we find extra crime, we charge extra for that.
You get charged extra. All right. We'll round it. We'll round it up to 1,500. We'll say that's the amount. Say it took you guys 3 hours in universe. Round it up to 1,500.
Does that include drive time?
Okay.
Yeah. We'll include drive time. We'll say that this whole process, including drive time, costs 3 hours.
All right, I'm gonna hold you against that on our future ones when you have us drive for like 2 hours. We're charging.
All right. Charging them for every hour spent. All right. Now we're at the end of a modular unlimited session. What that means is
How much is that total? Not
first,
total money. How much money is it individually?
1,500 divided by 3 is 500 each.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So at the end of every session, I'm sorry, I'm scrolling while speaking. You have a moment of reflection. This is when you get your experience, but also you can get some extra experience for describing your favorite part and a challenge. Those are worth 10 experience each. So we'll start with Black Swan.
I knew it. So, obviously, I had a challenge with the dice and working on the computer. That was the bane of my entire investigation, but it was solved thanks to Danielle.
Legit.
So, I am happy that her curiosity was more important than the distress of her boss's death.
Yeah, maybe I'll fit into the module. They are actually sad about their boss's death.
They're
Imagine,
way
like, she kinda
too
had, like,
not
puffy eyes
sad.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But she had that, like, yeah, you know, most IT people have that little bit of ADHD. I think that, like, kind of took over.
That's what I was shooting for, but maybe I went a little bit too far.
It's no different than what I did when my coworker died.
All right, what about your favorite part there for Black Swan?
Ooh.
It doesn't even have to be specifically about Black Swan.
My part was the best. It was the bane of my existence, but it was also my favorite part. So I like the fact that I could go to the computer and kind of know what I'm looking for and be able to stretch out my points to hit details that, while didn't continue the story itself, was still important enough to be able to deduce like who wasn't a problem and who was. So being able, like the flash drive,
Yeah.
literally was not important to the murder. However, it did give us information that did eventually lead to another crime.
It's true.
So I felt really good about that.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
My happy moment.
What about how about Ileana? For Ileana, what was your favorite moment? What was a point of challenge for you?
The dice didn't like me much either.
I rolled the most ones,
And-
hands down.
There was a lot of ones. Luckily, this is a cumulative. So like even if you roll low once, if you just keep rolling low, eventually you get the answers anyway.
I spent most of the time in a 20 cumulative roll room with it liking to not roll very high. So, favorite part, of course, with Eliana is always the tarot reading and palmistry. Love doing that with her.
Hell yeah. And what about for Echo?
What do you want to hear first?
Go ahead, give me your challenge.
Jeez. Hey, I think, honestly, the challenge with Echo is the constant conjecture.
Explain.
I cannot. I think I may have just used the wrong word here.
Conjecture is like speaking in certainty when... Well, let me actually...
Oh, then no. Yeah, no, then I'm correct. Yes, speaking in certainty when it's very clearly not certain that I'm correct.
Yeah.
I call that a skill.
Conjecture skill.
Got it. We know who... We know... I'm like, aha. Milo did it. Teddy did it. Paul did it.
Paul did it. Hey, you were right that time. Broken clocks, right? Twice a day.
Right, but like, it's just, you know, I put too much into my own head and not enough into Echo's. So I honestly believe that it's not really fair because his vice is an obsession with the unexplained. So
it's explained now, so I don't have to have the vice. Your explanation's wrong. I don't care.
Exactly.
I mean, you had the auras, so it's not like you absolutely didn't know. You had the feeling. You just ran with it.
Yeah, in the wrong direction into several walls.
Those were just steps. You gotta look higher.
I mean, yeah, we got there in the end. And Echo did get to have the dramatic entrance and confront the criminals, which as well, one of my favorite parts.
Hell yeah.
Confronting both Lexi and Grisham in the final moment before they just flat out confessed. Great.
Perfect.
Yeah, I love how your
right.
aura was enough to make them confess, to give up their stance.
He is a master of the aura.
They didn't have to say anything. We wouldn't have known jack.
We wouldn't have known jack. All right. So, time to tally up the experience. Let's start with the stuff that is not in the table. You get 20 each for... and that's each of you only gets 20 from this, but 20 experience from your favorite and your challenging points. Then we've got 25 experience from your knowledge about Revo machines before the investigation. We've got 25 experience from aura reading, 25 experience from tarot. Okay. Then you guys gain deductive reasoning. That's another 25.
Oh, nice.
You're basically just making a roll. You participated in at least 3 investigation notes. That's another 50. You met an investigation threshold, another 50. And then you gained the hunch condition. Everybody can thank Ileana for that one.
Thank you, Ileana. We know Echo wasn't getting a hunch.
No hunches. He's just certain.
Everything for Echo was a hunch.
All right. Acquire access to a credible source, 25. Acquired at least 10 details. That's 25. Solved a crime, 50 experience. And then from the case of the from the case of the fatal machine, you confirmed an alibi, you chose a suspect, and you solved a second crime, which are 25, 25, and 50. Lots of experience points to go around.
We're geniuses.
Geniuses. That's 100, 200, 300, 400, 520 experience points today.
Holy
hell
crap.
yeah.
Yeah. Something I'm going to have to refine. I know this in the long term, but I'm fine with it as it is right now, is getting more consistent with how much experience there is.
That's a tough one to nail down.
Yeah.
Especially with something with so many nodes for us to poke into.
Yeah, that leads me to one of the final thoughts. What on earth was in his office?
Oh, you guys didn't, because you didn't check the office?
Yeah.
You would have found, let me pull it back up. There was screenshots of Nuevo Communications prototype announcements with like circles and handwritten notes showing their similarities to Revo Machines copies.
Oh, so he was
which
he was catching on that information was being stolen.
Yeah.
That would have pointed us more towards Lexi again.
Yeah, but Lexi couldn't have done it because she didn't have the means.
Right.
The other stuff, you get the blueprint for the short loop feedback. You got the recommendation note. You've got the letter of termination, the physical copy with his name on it.
Should have pulled out the master key sooner.
Just bust into his door. You'd have to pay for it.
Permission to be there. We could have just asked.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts? Any feelings?
Feelings?
Yeah. The only thing that I have here is looking at the various suspects.
Right.
with their thresholds. So they all have different numbers, right?
Yeah,
Why do they all have different numbers?
I felt like it.
Right.
And
Which
so
I get.
the idea, the reason why Lexi's is the highest is because a lot of her attention is focused on keeping herself organized, whereas Daniel Reyes is lower because she is more free flowing with the information.
Okay. So there's a logic to it. I was just curious.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
Yeah, like
Did Danielle have anything left to give us?
yes.
Danielle would have just spoken highly of Teddy as a leader, although she has no problem standing up for her ideas.
There's one.
Yeah,
other thing.
that tracks.
There was one more thing I
Uh-huh.
wanted her to give us.
What's that?
Her phone number.
Didn't you try to pull that with the last investigation too?
I don't remember. Apparently, it wasn't as important, but I'll remember this one.
He'll remember this one.
It's canon now.
All right. It's canon now. So Black Swan.
Why can't we just say after we were done with the investigation, he got her phone number after?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is like, okay, now Black Swan has gotten the phone number of Danielle Reyes.
Oh no, hang on. Giving it to him, make him roll for it.
Sure.
He needs to charm this person. They are very clearly distracted by a giant robotic arm.
Based on her personality, I think my logic is more important.
Here is
Okay.
we're gonna dive into
Charisma
and you get not necessarily.
Yes.
We're going to this is free experience points, by the way. Humor.
Oh.
You have right. So I'm in the relationship module. There's several ways for you to accomplish humor. We've got punchline delivery is subtlety, observational humor is acuity, witticisms are logic, physical comedy is deftness, gross out humor is vitality. Then you've got kindness, compliments are charisma, gift giving is logic, affirmation is empathy. Then we've got trust, active listening is humility, consolation, which might be applicable here, is patience, and then communication is humility. Plus, now we can get into actual romance. Flirting is charisma, embracing is strength, grand gestures is courage, and beautification, which is like makeup, is patience.
Okay, so I'd like to add logic and patience, so maybe I'll give her my number and tell her to call me.
Yeah, one or the other, though. Logic or patience.
We're going to go logic.
Okay, roll it. He's doing some witticisms.
There's another one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's not fair.
Luckily, the 13 is what you needed.
Oh, okay.
13 is what you needed.
It was a 9 and a
Uh-huh.
7, and then it changed.
No, actually, okay. You had a 9 and a 7. When did you roll that?
You see where the dice is? How the 9 is sitting on the 7? It was stuck there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm recording. Actually, you'll be able to see it. Oh wait, no, you're recording.
Bastards.
It's on the live thing, so you'll see it. It was 9 and 7, and then it the dice wiggled, and then it went to 1.
I mean, you won the roll.
Yeah, you got the 13, which is two relationship bubbles or something like. Oh, that's not right. Hold on. Let me actually pull up before I just start saying random shit. Scrolling down. Oh, no change. Sorry. Decent rank. So you got a little bit of flirtation going on. 15 gets you a bubble,
Figures.
a relationship bubble. But I think 13 is good enough for her to have a little bit of interest. Like you didn't have her hate you, which is important. She'll give it a shot.
I smelled good.
Right?
On the
Okay.
computer, she had to deal with my stench.
She's not opposed to the idea of giving you her number, but she's not impressed just yet. We'll say that.
Good job, Swan.
Good job, Swan. Any other thoughts? Any other ideas? And that is 25 experience for everybody.
Hell yeah. No, I don't think anything else.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Noel, any thoughts? Pad, any thoughts?
Oh, I am.
All right, everybody. Thanks for playing. Thanks for joining in this experiment with me. It's been a real pleasure to bring this mystery. I'm glad it resolved. I was happy that eventually the clues pointed you in the right direction, which is the intention with writing a mystery. I think this was a success for investigation. This was a success for criminal investigation, and this was a success for the case of the Fatal Machine. I might have to revamp some of the writing, add in a few details, but overall, I did not have any issues. I did not see any issues. So for anybody who is watching this currently, which I think is just one person, and anybody who watches this in the future, hopefully we get this onto YouTube. Thank you for participating. Thank you for watching. Join. You can follow our links to join the two Discords that we run this game in. One is the Modular Unlimited system, and then one is our Regate server, which is where we actually perform our playtests. Comments, any thoughts you have about this gameplay, comments what you want to see. Let us know if you enjoyed this. Let us know what you hated. We've got pretty thick skin, so if you really want to berate us, go for it. But in all, I think the future for Modular Unlimited is great, and I'm very appreciative to everybody on this team and anybody who's in the audience. So with that, I say thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.